has Mr. Nvidia, Spy, the Qs, have they all found a bottom? Let's get into it today and just see what price action tells us and not our feelings or anything else. This is Mike, the Tactical Stock Scalper. All right. Let's start here with Mr. Okay. There's been a ton of excitement when Mr. went up and Bitcoin went up over the weekend, and a lot of, rah-rah behind that. And then there was a lot of disappointment as Mr. was coming down over the previous few days. When all it's done is come down to its 200 period moving average that you see here in purple, right? And consolidate. So today it rocketed up over the weekend, whatever, came right to the 20 period moving average that you see here in white and the 100 period moving average that you see there in red, and fail and come right back down to the 200 period moving average. You see all this consolidation right here around the 200? There's going to be a dynamic move from Mr. The only question is it going to be a dynamic move up or down? Nobody knows. Everyone's going to have their guess, right? We'll let price action dictate what happens from that level. But if we break down below the 200 period moving average and close below it for a couple days in a row, you are probably looking at something much deeper and sinister. Let's zoom out here to a weekly time frame. So on a weekly time frame, as you can see here, basically the 200 period moving average is the 50 here on Mr. on a weekly time frame. You would be looking for it to come down to close to this level if we break through the 200. You'd be looking for it to go down there to something like that. There is some support at the $200 level, as you can see here, right? This is previous resistance, and oftentimes previous resistance becomes support, future support. So we can, we'll see what happens here with Mr. But is going back to the daily time frame, it is completely possible that this is a bottom for Mr. Now, here's the thing with technical analysis. It's not an end-all, be-all, right? If you put all your money right now into Mr. thinking this could be the bottom and it breaks and goes below, you're going to be like, oh, technical analysis doesn't work. It sucks. No, technical analysis is a guide, and it gives you levels to buy in, to sell, or to enter positions. So for here, if you were to enter here, the risk reward is good on a daily time frame, right? Because we're at a major level of support. That doesn't guarantee anything. That doesn't guarantee that it's going to rip or fall. It just lets you be a guide as the best times to buy in. Now, there's many people that as Mr. was breaking down, they were just buying in between these big gaps between the EMAs. Oh, it's red, I need to buy. Oh, it's red, I need to buy. Instead of being patient and disciplined and waiting for it to come down to the next level of support and then buying there. Spacing out your buys using technical analysis will decrease the average price, right, that you buy in, and it helps you just buy at levels so you're not buying just to buy. But it's completely possible this could be a bottom for Mr. We just have to wait and let price action dictate. No speculation here. We're just showing you what the chart is doing. Let's go look at Nvidia. I've posted this chart in my Discord several times. That's where I do all my technical analysis. If you want to be a member of the Discord or the YouTube channel, just hit the join button there. So as you can see here in the short time frame, all Nvidia has done is create lower highs and lower lows. Now, these trend lines aren't down to the penny. You could probably draw them better on your own platform. I'm just using them for visual representation. But again, with Nvidia and MSTR, even though they're two completely different things, they're coming down to lower levels. So if it follows this trend on Nvidia, we would expect to bounce relatively soon from this area, and chances are we could bounce from this level here and go back up to something like that up in there to form another lower high, because that's what we're in right now with Nvidia is just a bearish time. Lower highs and lower lows. We have broken below the 200 EMA. If we hold below it again, we could expect more downside. Now, if we zoom out to a weekly time frame, you could see it is extremely bearish, and all we're doing is coming down to certain levels. So if it breaks through the 200 EMA on the daily time frame and holds below it, you would expect your next level to be roughly in here. Of course, the $100 level will provide some psychological support, and it has been support in the past. Look at this. Right? The $200 or $100 level has provided support, previous support there. And as you can see here, it was once resistance, right? Previous resistance oftentimes becomes future support, as we have seen there. So there's not all is lost for Nvidia holders. It's all about discipline and patience and waiting for levels to buy in. Let's go back here to the daily time frame. So many people, once Nvidia started falling, were buying, up in here, up in here. I've seen so many of it when all they had to do is be patient and wait for a level and not just buy because it's red. Wait for a level to be hit and then buy it, and space out your average downs. You could last a very long time in a bullish market if you space out your buy-ins, right? Decreasing your average cost, increasing share size, waiting on the inevitable run back up. Let's go look at SPY for XDTE holders and other people that are interested in SPY. Let's zoom out here. Well, let's stay here for a minute on a daily time frame. SPY's not even close to yet to its 200 period moving average. You can see back over here. We hit the 200, right? Came really close to it and then bounced right off. And from that point, just had a massive bull run. Well, all we're doing possibly is coming down to the 200 period moving average again. And then maybe it will find support there and then rocket up. Again, there's nothing to be panicked about. There's nothing to be worried about until major levels get broken. And on SPY's case, that would be the 200 EMA. But then again, all hope is not lost. Let's go out to a weekly time frame. Show you something fascinating. So this is the 200, or this is the weekly time frame, okay? And even during this bear market during a year period, all it did on a weekly time frame, again, was come down to the 200 period moving average on a weekly time frame. I personally, again, space out my buys. If I'm in something SPY related, like I am right now with something called SPY U, if we break, zooming back here, if we break the 200 period moving average, that, or go down to the 200 period moving average, that will be an average down for me. Why? Because it's bounced from that level before, and that is basically a line in the sand on a daily time frame. Because if you break that level, you're headed to something much deeper and sinister. Then if we break that, I will head out to the weekly time frame. Let's remove some of these lines. And I will just buy at these levels. Right? Right there. right here, right? So, I mean, if you look back here, even during the COVID crash over here, the flash crash, whatever you want to call it, got below the 200 period moving average on a weekly time frame a bit, and then rocketed up from there, as you can see. So on the 200 period moving average on a weekly time frame is extremely powerful. And it typically, look, here's another one way back here. That's where the market gravitates to on major crashes. But until that time comes, I mean, that's a heck of a drop, right? To go from here down to there, not saying it can't happen. Of course it can happen, because we had the whole bear year here. But it's all about averaging down at levels and not just, shooting your wad at the first red day or second red day. Take your time. Be patient with the market. Let it do its thing and just be disciplined and buy in at levels. So again, just a little recap here. Nvidia coming down to this level here. Decent risk reward for a long position. Obviously, I'm not, I can't give financial advice. I don't work for a firm or anything like that. I'm just speaking what I do personally, okay? Decent risk reward here for Nvidia. Looking for it to bounce up off of this trend line at some point. Again, you're going to want to draw your trend lines a little bit tighter. I just use this as visual representation. Buy towards the bottom of that trend line, wait for the run back up, and then maybe sell your position if you're in Nvidia or doing a trade when it gets to the top of the trend line. That's it. Going back to look at MSTR on a recap. Could possibly be a bottom here. It's consolidating around the 200 period moving average. A dynamic move is coming out of here for MSTR. Which direction will it go? Nobody knows. I don't prognosticate. I don't try to tell the future. I never worked, I've never been a fortune teller. All I use is price action to dictate my moves and let the market work for me. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Mike, Tactical Stock Scalper, out.